Hey, Orangeville. Lots of talk recently about EMS and our dispatching service here in Orangeville and Dufferin County. Concerns are being made that the dispatch service is quote unquote not up to snuff and that lives are in danger. On Davidson Live, we addressed this issue about a year ago in December 2015. So I'll be showing some clips from that to sort of hopefully quell everyone's concerns and highlight exactly what's going on. So for the people that are concerned and raising these issues, what's really at play is that the RFP, the request for a proposal in Orangeville not getting the dispatch contract was essentially pooched by whoever the authors were of the proposal. Now, that said, what's come out of that is concern for the town, legitimate concern, in that the town, with its mayor, Jeremy Williams, has wanted to sort of expand its services and sort of bolster what we have. In doing so is about increasing revenues for the town. But as you'll see in some of the clips, that sort of is counter to what the county is concerned about. Anyway, so moving forward, before you watch these clips, understand that there's a lot of people with some misinformation out there. For those who want to couch this whole situation as a safety issue, keep in mind that there's quite a bit of cheerleading going on again for the town. To say this is a safety issue is to say that our EMS workers, our firefighters and police and the dispatchers are not doing their job efficiently. And quite frankly, that is absolutely irresponsible message to be putting across. If these same people wanted to show true concern for the situation, they would understand that they'd have to start talking about delivery service models. And that is impacted by discussions going on at the provincial level between firefighters and the ambulance or paramedic unions. That is a whole other ball of wax. Fight for money, fight for seniority, fight for resources, and fight for position. Anyways, as it concerns Orangeville and Dufferin County, what remains is that the RFP was not properly put together and there were consequences for that. Anyways, here's a clip from 2015 in December with Darren White, the mayor of Langton, who was in charge of the RFP process. Enjoy.
So I think we can do a lot of things better together. And me and Jeremy agree on that. We can do a lot of things better on a county level than we do individually in municipalities, but all-out amalgamation is not the way to go.
Are there any efficiencies to be had?
There's always efficiencies to be had. I think amalgamation is a bad story for Dufferin County.
Why?
Because of the way it's built. Because we have a large center with a large population in the very south of the county. I think everybody else would suffer, and that's borne out by the facts in other places.
I want to jump to amalgamation.
Sure.
Mayor Williams here in town, the very first
Yikes.
the very first comment he made out of the chute was amalgamation. And I thought it was
I
actually...
called him that night.
You did?
I said, are you trying to alienate everybody before you're even sworn in?
Talking about amalgamation, about services, bringing them, consolidating them back to OPP, just recently dispatching.
Yep.
Within the region. The vote was put through at the county about moving Orangeville dispatch.
Yes.
Orangeville Police Services just lost the contract.
Yep.
Talk to us about that.
Well, Orangeville Police Services, up until for the last probably close to 20 years, long before my time anyway, they've had the dispatch agreement for Dufferin County. That contract is coming up to an end in just about June of this year. We put it out to RFP. We got 3 bids. 2 of them were considered, and Orangeville's unfortunately had to be disqualified because it didn't meet the requirements in the tender.
Was that... don't want to speak for the mayor, but
Sure.
It seemed like, was that a political play or that was true to form fact?
That's fact.
Could you have accepted that?
I
Could you have accepted
no.
that? No.
We got a legal opinion, so we couldn't.
Okay.
And there's forms, they had to be filled out a specific way. We wanted to see specific costing information, and the 2 other bidders put that information down. Orangeville put down, basically, we'll meet the lowest bid.
Is there time to
No.
put in another bid. It's
No,
done.
and because if you do that, then you publicize everybody else's, you set yourself up for a gigantic lawsuit with a bad cost of work.
So tell us then, the dispatching. Tell us how the dispatching works. We see something happening in town. I want to call the police. What happens?
Right. Well, there's two components to dispatching. There's the CERB, C-E-R-B, which is what the county 911 agreement is all about. And what that is basically a person who answers the phone and goes, police, fire, ambulance, what's your emergency? And if you say it's police, it'll be sent to the police service, whatever services. Yeah, it'll be routed there. That's what Orangeville does now. If I call from my house and say I need an ambulance, they transfer the call to Wellington, where the ambulance dispatch is. So the same thing will be happening, just a different guy will be answering that phone. But local dispatch is still going to be happening.
So when we speak about losing the contract, Orangeville dispatchers will still remain employed.
Yes. Well, they still have to. They have to dispatch all the local fire departments. They'll also have to dispatch Orangeville Police Service as well.
Right.
That stuff is still local.
What kind of savings are we going to see with that? And before I forget to ask the question, then what is the rub on this? This is not a good win-win for everyone.
Well, sure. I mean, me and Jeremy don't see eye to eye on this issue at all. From my perspective, Orangeville has been taking advantage of the county for the past X number of years.
Wow, we can touch on that.
They've been charging us $100,000 for something we can get for $30,000 elsewhere. They knew that 4 years ago. This is not news. It's news perhaps to Jeremy, but 4 years ago under a different mayor, those numbers came out.
Yeah.
So, and I appreciate Jeremy wants to say that we're willing to provide a better service and we're willing to provide it at the lowest bid, but 4 years ago, you knew those numbers. Perhaps that was the time then to start saving the county taxpayers $70,000 a year.
Maybe Jeremy would say that was on Rob.
What's that?
That maybe Jeremy
Perhaps
would
it
say
is
that was
on
Rob.
Rob. Perhaps
Mindy
it is on
Wilson's
Rob.
still there.
Yeah.
Sylvia.
A lot of that
Gail.
council is still there. The deputy mayor is still there as well. And I mean, the $70,000. I can understand it's a bit of a hit to Orangeville Police. It's not a gigantic hit in their massive budget. It really isn't. And it's certainly not a slight to Orangeville. I would prefer the job stay in, or I would prefer that dispatch stay in Orangeville. But they didn't meet the tender, and that's the way it has to be.
So you're saving how much money?
$70,000 a year.
And that functionally is going to do what for the county?
Well, over the 4-year term, that's almost $300,000. It is that's a 1% tax rate there.
Is there an earmark for that money?
Well, we don't know yet because it's just been passed.
Okay. We got about 3 minutes left. I hope that sort of exposes that issue a bit. We talked earlier about ISIS, Syria.